Amelia was 35 years old. She was big and beautiful, with a warm smile that made people feel safe. Her heart was soft, and her spirit was strong. Amelia was not slim like the women on TV or in fashion magazines. She was fat, yes, but her body carried a special kind of beauty. There was comfort in her presence, and kindness in her eyes. Her laughter could fill a whole room. Her hugs could make sadness disappear, even if only for a moment. When Amelia believed in something, she believed with her whole heart. Her determination was the kind that could move mountains. She married Charles when they had absolutely nothing. Charles was tall, dark, and handsome. He was very intelligent too, but life had not been kind to him. No matter how hard he tried, opportunities never seemed to work out. They lived in a tiny one-room apartment in Lagos. The zinc roof leaked badly whenever rain fell. At night, they would place buckets on the floor to catch water. Their bed was small and old. Their wardrobe was just a wooden box in the corner of the room. Sometimes, when gas finished, Amelia cooked with firewood at the back of the house. Even with all this, Amelia never complained. Whenever Charles came home tired and frustrated, Amelia would rub his back gently and smile at him. "Don't worry, my love," she would say. "One day, everything will change. You will sit in a big office, wearing a fine suit and tie. You will drive your own car and people will call you sir." Charles would smile weakly and reply, "Amen." Sometimes he would sigh and say, "But look at us, Amelia. Look at where we are." Amelia would touch his cheek with her soft, chubby hand. "Where we are doesn't matter," she would say calmly. "Who we are matters more. I believe in you. I know you will go far." They had 2 children. Precious was 8 years old, and Junior was 5. Life was hard, but Amelia carried the family like a lioness protecting her cubs. She woke up very early every morning to fry akara by the roadside. She sold to neighbors rushing to work. Sometimes she cleaned offices. Sometimes she helped people wash clothes. Any small job she found, she did it. Every kobo she made, she brought it home. "Charles, keep this," she would say, placing the money in his hand. "Go and buy newspapers. Search for jobs again. Don't give up." Charles felt ashamed, but he always obeyed. One day, Amelia heard about a vacancy in a big company from a woman who regularly bought akara from her. Amelia didn't waste time. She rushed home immediately. "Charles," she said excitedly, "wear your best shirt. Comb your hair. There's an interview today. Go and try." Charles sighed deeply. "Amelia, those people don't want people like me. I've tried too many times. I'm tired." But Amelia refused to back down. "If you don't go, I will drag you there myself. Do you want to rot in this one room forever? You are a man with a sharp brain. Let people see it." Her fire woke something inside him. He went. 2 weeks later, a letter arrived. Charles got the job. Amelia danced like a little child. She rolled on the floor, clapping and shouting, "Jehovah, you have done it. My husband has a job." From that day, their lives slowly began to change. Charles started working in an office and earned a monthly salary. Amelia continued selling akara, but she added bread and drinks. Together, they survived better. As time passed, Charles moved higher at work. His intelligence showed, and his dedication impressed his bosses. In 5 years, he rose from earning almost nothing to becoming a manager with a very good salary. They moved from the one-room apartment into a 2-bedroom flat. As they packed their things, Amelia cried. She touched the leaking zinc roof one last time and whispered, "Thank you for sheltering us." Charles laughed and hugged her. "You are a strange woman. Who thanks a leaking roof?" Amelia smiled. A grateful woman. Their children started attending better schools. Charles bought Amelia gifts, jewelry, handbags, wrappers. He even bought her a small car. Life became sweet. But something else also changed. Charles was now exposed to a new world. His colleagues had slim wives who wore makeup, fixed nails, and dressed like models. Slowly, Amelia no longer fit the picture in his mind. At first, the comments were small. "Amelia, your stomach is too big. Try to reduce food. Your arms are like yam tubers. Try exercise." Sometimes he said it jokingly in front of friends. They laughed. Amelia laughed too, but inside her heart was bleeding. One evening, she wore a new red gown she sewed for church. She stood before him shyly. "How do I look, my love?" Charles looked at her and hissed. "You look like a bag of rice tied with ribbon. Why waste money sewing gowns instead of losing weight?" The words cut her deeply. She went inside, sat on the bed, and cried quietly. She remembered how she carried Charles financially, paid his transport, fed him, and even sold her jewelry to buy him shoes. Now he mocked her body. She kept quiet for the sake of her children. At night, she cried facing the wall and prayed silently. "God, I carried this man when he had nothing. Now he insults me. Please help me. Don't let my marriage scatter." Charles's words grew worse. He started coming home late, smelling of strange perfume. He ignored her calls. One evening, Precious asked, "Mommy, why is Daddy always angry with you?" Amelia forced a smile. "Daddy is just tired." But her heart was breaking. One morning, she prepared his favorite breakfast. When Charles came out, he looked at her with disgust. "You're already sweating." "You disgust me." The children froze. Amelia cried. Charles was no longer the man she knew. Soon Amelia discovered the truth. Charles was seeing another woman. Her name was Nora. She was slim, beautiful, confident, and selfish. Nora encouraged Charles to throw Amelia away. At home, Amelia suffered. She returned to selling akara to feed her children. Neighbors gossiped. One night, Charles beat her and threw her out. Barefoot and broken, she left. She stayed with her friend Amaka. Amaka comforted her. Meanwhile, Charles brought Nora into the house. Before that happened, Amelia slowly began to stand back on her feet. Staying with Amaka was not just about crying and pain. After some days of rest, Amaka sat her down one evening and spoke gently to her. "Amelia, you can't stay like this forever," Amaka said. "You are a strong woman. You have hands, you have sense, and you have experience. You didn't build Charles by sleeping. You worked." Those words entered Amelia's heart. The next morning, Amelia wiped her tears, tied her wrapper firmly, and followed Amaka to the market. Amaka helped her mix small money. It wasn't much, just enough to start again. Amelia added the little savings she still had from her akara business. She began small, very small. She started frying akara again, this time in front of Amaka's compound. She added pap in the mornings and bread in the evenings. Some days were good, some days were slow, but Amelia did not give up. Each evening, she counted her money carefully, separating profit from capital. Even when the money was small, she smiled. For the first time in a long while, she felt useful again. Slowly, her strength returned. Her eyes were still sad, but her back was straight. Neighbors began to notice her hard-working spirit. "Amelia, you are strong, oh," one woman said one morning. "If it were me, I would have died of sadness." Amelia smiled faintly. "Life doesn't wait for tears," she replied. With time, her small business grew. She added snacks and drinks. People liked her because she was kind and honest. Some days, she sent small money to her children through neighbors, even though Charles never knew. At night, she still cried for her children, but now her tears were mixed with hope. She told herself every day, "I will not remain on the ground forever. I will rise again." Meanwhile, Charles brought Nora into the house. The children suffered. They cried for their mother. Charles tried to silence them, but guilt slowly grew in his heart. Amelia cried every night, missing her children. One day, the children ran to see their mother. When Charles found them there, anger and truth collided. Precious spoke up. Amelia stood firm. "They are our children." Silence filled the room, and for the first time, Charles's pride began to crack. That moment became the turning point. Amaka stood quietly, watching Charles struggle with his own conscience. Then she spoke, her voice calm but firm. "Charles," she said, "look at your children. Look at how they are shaking. Is this the home you promised them?" Charles said nothing. Precious and Junior clung tightly to Amelia, as if letting go would make her disappear again. Amelia took a deep breath. Her voice was low, steady, and tired. "Charles, I didn't come here to fight you. I didn't come to disgrace you. I came here because these children are part of me. You can insult me, you can hate me, but you cannot erase me from their lives. Charles looked at her for a long time. This was not the weak woman he threw out. This Amelia stood tall, even with tears in her eyes. Without another word, Charles turned around and left. He did not shout. He did not insult her. He simply walked away, confused and restless. That night he could not sleep. At home, Nora was waiting, legs crossed, scrolling through her phone. "Why are you late?" she asked sharply. Charles didn't answer. "Did you go to see that woman again?" Nora snapped. Charles looked at her and, for the first time, saw her clearly. There was no warmth in her eyes. No paciencia. No care. "Why are you always angry?" he asked. Nora laughed coldly. "Because you're weak. If you had thrown her out completely, we wouldn't be having these problems." Something snapped inside him. The next few weeks were heavy. Work became stressful. His mind was never at rest. At the office he made mistakes. At home, there was no peace. The house felt empty, even with Nora inside it. Meanwhile, Amelia continued rebuilding her life. Her small business grew steadily. From akara and pap, she added snacks, cold drinks, and provisions. Customers trusted her. They paid and came back. Amaka helped her open a small savings account. Every week, Amelia saved something, no matter how small. Slowly, her confidence returned. One afternoon, a woman from a nearby school stopped by her stand. "Madam," the woman said, "do you cook? We need someone to supply food for teachers during meetings." Amelia's heart jumped. "Yes, I do." That single opportunity changed everything. She began cooking in large pots, waking up before dawn and returning late in the evening. It was hard, but it was honest work. The money was better. Within months, Amelia moved from Amaka's house into a small room of her own. It wasn't fancy, but it was peaceful. She bought a small gas cooker. She smiled the first night she cooked in her own space again. She also began sending money directly to her children through the school. Charles noticed. One evening, the school called him. "Sir, your wife has been paying the children's fees and lunch money regularly," the teacher said. Charles froze. "My wife?" "Yes, Mrs. Amelia." Guilt crashed into him like a wave. That night, Nora complained again. "Why are you suddenly quiet all the time? If you don't want me anymore, say it." Charles stood up slowly. "Nora, I think you should leave." She laughed. "Leave where? After everything." "I'm tired," he said. "This is not the life I want." Nora's face hardened. "You will regret this." She packed her things and left that same night, slamming the door behind her. The house went silent. Days later, Charles went looking for Amelia. When he found her at her food stand, he stopped in shock. She was smiling, serving customers, confident and calm. "Amelia," he called softly. She turned and saw him. Her heart raced, but she stayed composed. "What do you want, Charles?" He swallowed hard. "I was wrong." She said nothing. "I destroyed my home," he continued. "I insulted the woman who built me. I chased you away. I hurt our children." Tears filled his eyes. "Please forgive me." Amelia looked at him quietly. "Forgiveness is not the same as forgetting," she said. "I forgive you for my own peace. But trust is not cheap." She paused. "The children come first. They need peace, not noise." Charles nodded. Over time, with counseling, family intervention, and patience, Charles slowly rebuilt his relationship with his children. Amelia allowed him access, but she kept her dignity. She did not rush back. She had learned her worth. In time, peace returned. Amelia grew stronger, wiser, and independent. Charles learned humility the hard way. And the children smiled again. Because sometimes life breaks you not to destroy you, but to teach you who you truly are.